Alright, so I know it's dark, but it's like almost quarter after 11 at night. Um, Today is my work week, Monday, and it's definitely starting out like a Monday. Um, I'm a truck driver. I deliver locally. So it's not like there's all kinds of weird, different stuff everywhere I go because I go typically to the same places all the time. Um, but my gripe isn't with outside of my warehouse compound, it's actually within. Um, we have certain individuals that work here that have really one job, and that's to make sure that everything is dispatched out properly, right? So, within this dispatching properly theory, there's making sure that all your drivers know what their loads are within a certain window so that you don't really have to worry about it when the time comes for these loads to leave out. That's not the case here. I didn't get dispatched for my load until 30 minutes before I was supposed to be on site, which is not supposed to happen. Um, our dispatchers know this. Our dispatchers know how things are supposed to go because that's just how it's been, right? So I get here, I get my load situated. My dispatcher was like, "Man, I'm glad you got your message." And I was like, "Yeah, but if I had not, then you'd have been short a driver because it was on you to make sure that within 2 hours of this dispatch, no later than 2 hours of this dispatch, it was assigned to me." And luckily, I'm a reliable individual, so I know when I'm scheduled. I know what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to be here. Um, my paperwork at the shipping office is all ready. I go to pick it up and go pick up my trailer, and the dock light has not been changed to green yet, which here, if we back under a trailer on a red light, it's first is a warning, second time you do it is a write up, third time it could potentially be termination. I don't have time to be terminated for stupid stuff, so I check, see it's red. I go inside the shipping office. My dispatch time for my company is 6 p.m. Dispatch time for the shipping office and the warehousing company is 6:15 p.m. So while picking up this paperwork and checking this trailer and seeing that it's a red light, I go in and I ask the shipping clerk, can I get a red light? Or can I get a green light on this particular door? Now, typically, like, we're pretty cool. I see him a couple days a week, so we can joke with each other. Today was not the day to joke around. He felt like it was cool to joke around, so I ended up having to stand around an extra 10 minutes while he did whatever he was going to do and not get my door unlocked. Hook up to my trailer, try to slide my tandems, and the pull bar on my trailer just decided it wasn't going to work. So, needless to say, I got set back quite a bit for my load today. I called my dispatcher and was like, "Look, dude, I need somebody to come and help me slide these tandems. So, can you help me out?" He says, "Yeah, I'll tell the yard hostler." Mind you, the one guy that's normally here doing yard hostling, he's an interesting character. He's kind of introverted, so he doesn't really speak to a lot of people at all. But he's not very efficient at his job. So, this guy comes around the corner, checks a couple trailer numbers further on down the line from where I'm at, and then turns around and goes away. Instead of radioing in what he sees or doesn't see, whatever he's looking for, and then continuing on down so I can get this trailer out of the gate. Long story short, well, shortened a little. Um, I ended up leaving at a quarter to 7, which by my standards is way, way too late to be leaving. I made my delivery on time. I typically like to be there early. Not only does it help out my customer location, but it helps me out because I get back here early, and if they need a driver to do something else, I'm available. If not, then I've got some downtime, which is cool. But the company I work for now is generally always down drivers. Not because they don't pay well, they don't pay great, but they don't. It's it's not shorten us, I guess. Um, I believe the problem that most people have here is consistency, accountability, and I would say the atmosphere of the job. Okay, the daytime, there's not really much to complain about because you've got all management on site, you've got a full crew working, everybody's got the sunlight or a brighter work shift. But there's always somebody here to set the boundaries and maintain the boundaries and make sure that people are following the guidelines of the job, the yard. Um, Everything is in check. Sorry. Um, at nighttime, we have no leadership, no authority figures. Everybody just kind of does what they want to do. And if you try to correct somebody on something, all hell will break loose. Uh, in most cases, they'll shrug things off and just kind of do their own thing. That's not what I feel a team environment should be. Once we're inside this warehouse, this fence, everybody here has downtime. Everybody here is not doing anything. Nobody here wants to do extra unless it's delegated, and even then, it's a struggle. So, to anybody who works as a local delivery driver or a regional delivery driver with a home warehouse terminal and either a light amount of leadership management or no management at nighttime, I advise all of you to find a way to make the work relationship with your peers and your counterparts something that is, I wouldn't say friendly because you're not at work really to make friends, but I would say is comfortable. If you can't go to work and be comfortable and feel good about what you're doing and where you're doing it, it makes you resent where you are and why you're there. I've been at this job almost 2 full years in January, and I try to be as reliable as possible. I try to be on time, hold myself accountable for anything, whether it's a scheduling delay, running late to work, something wrong with my tractor, which all of these are shared tractors with the exception of one, but we'll talk about that later. But we're adults. Clearly, if you're driving a tractor trailer, you have to have some sort of personal motivation, some sort of drive to want to make yourself better and make your workplace better. Don't ever think it's not your responsibility to hold your work buddies accountable for unsafe practices, because worst comes to worst, he gets his ass in a sling and looks to you to bail him out. Well, dummy, I told you not to do it in the first place. You know what I mean? So I really didn't mean to turn this into a rant and rave kind of thing. It's more so that I wanted to bring awareness about to other companies that may have local delivery routes or may have somewhat local delivery routes. You know, somewhere that you go regularly and you have an established customer that knows your face, knows your routine. Like, hey, you get here, you park the truck, you crack the doors, and start doing your thing, or you park the truck, wait for them to come and get you, and so on and so forth. It's ridiculous how little responsibility grown people want to have and still choose to complain about it when their paychecks are short or when they screw up and lose their job. Like, there's no accountability anywhere. I'm one of the youngest drivers here, which says a lot because I'm in my 30s, but I'm one of the younger drivers. I've seen older drivers come and go, and the going is not their choice per se, but they do it to themselves. You're grown, you've been driving for 25, 30 years, almost as long as I've been alive. If you can't get it by then on what's safe, what's not safe, what's, you know, acceptable in the workplace and what's not acceptable in the workplace, then you don't deserve to be where you're hired at in the first place. I hate to see what the world will be like when my 13-year-old son is 30. I hate to see what it's going to be like when he's grown and everybody's looking to blame somebody else for everything else because nobody wants to say, oops, I did it. That was me. You know? But we always want everybody on the road. If somebody cuts you off, you want these people to know that they're driving like a jackass. Don't drive like a jackass. If everybody drove the way that they're supposed to drive, there wouldn't be these long traffic delays. There wouldn't be all these accidents. Common courtesy is something that does not exist in the world this day and age. I see so many near accidents every day that it scares me for my kid. He's got to learn to drive in this. How's he supposed to learn to drive correctly if nobody drives correctly? And then get in trouble for not driving correctly if he wiggles out of his lane or stops beyond the white line at a stop sign or goes through a yellow light when yellow means yield. You know, it's just annoying on so many different levels. But if you watch this, thanks. If you skip past it, cool. If you thumbs up it, fantastic. If you thumbs down it, whatever. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.